Hey guys, Frosty Knives here, and since it's about a month away from the new Star Wars movie, I decided that I'm going to review the original 6 Star Wars movies, starting with The Phantom Menace. I'm not going to give you the plot details of the story. We all pretty much know how this goes. I'm going to give you what I liked and what I didn't like, and what I thought could have been better about Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. First, let's talk about what I liked. Darth Maul. There it is. That's what I liked about the first movie. Not just Darth Maul, but Darth Maul was a badass. First time we get to see somebody with a double-bladed lightsaber. Skills as a Force user and his fighting skills were tremendous. I loved Darth Maul. Darth Maul was awesome. The pod race scene. Technically, it was well done, well shot, very exciting to see this pod racing scene. It was good theater. I liked it. I thought it was well done. The duel at the end of the movie with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon and Darth Maul. That was a really good scene. And that was done well. So it had some promise. It wasn't, the pacing was pretty good. Those bits were pretty good. There were some parts of the movie that you could enjoy that I enjoyed quite well. What I didn't like about the movie, let's see. Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon confused me. We'll get into that with what I would have done differently, but Qui-Gon and everything that went with him, the idea of the living force, the midichlorians, all of that, unnecessary, didn't need to be in there, confused the issue. We were all happy about the original explanation of the Force. The Force is all around you, binds you together, and everything, and the planets, and the rocks, and the trees. Whoa, Force. Fine, an energy field that binds us, penetrates us, and combines all of life. That was great. That's as far as you needed to get into the Force, as far as I was concerned, and a lot of people were concerned. Midichlorians? Yeah. So the whole idea of Qui-Gon and the living force and the midichlorians, I could have done without. The virgin birth of Anakin. Let's talk about Anakin for a little bit. The problem with Anakin wasn't Anakin, it was the fact that he was 8. I think they went too far back. I don't think they should have started him as a little 8-year-old running around going yippee all the time. And the fact that he was a virgin birth, a force birth, that might have been stretching it. I hate when they do this prophecy thing that, that he's this divine creature. Just let Anakin be Anakin, a flawed, emotional human being, and that would have been enough. On another note, though, I did like the fact that Anakin built C-3PO. A little touch of irony for the rest of the movies, where every time he goes, "Oh, thank the Maker," he's thanking Vader. Just a little touch. Jar Jar. Most people hate Jar Jar with a passion. Jar Jar serves a purpose. It is, after all, a children's movie. It's a kid's movie. They need that comic relief. And to that bit, I think Jar Jar did fine. Why was Obi-Wan such an asshole in this movie? I mean, he was a real jerk. He was written to be, what does he say to Qui-Gon? Oh, what other pathetic life form have we decided to pick up now? He's just arrogant. He's a douche. He's a dick. I don't know why they wrote him that way. A lot of people complain about the acting. These are good actors. It's not the acting, it's the directing. The directing is horrible. George Lucas can't direct people. He can't direct people to save his life. And that's why they act the way that they do. And that's why they deliver the lines that they deliver. And that's why everything is so stilted and wooden and whatnot. Even though we know that every single person in this movie, from Ewan McGregor to Liam Neeson to Natalie Portman to Samuel L. Jackson, they can act. And we know this. The reason that they don't is because they're directed not to. And the death of Maul. Why did Maul have to die? I always thought that Maul was going to go through the trilogy. And then at the end of the trilogy, Palpatine was going to give Anakin the same, present him with the same options that he presented Luke. Kill him, take his place at my side. I always thought that Anakin should have been the one to kill Maul. So those are the things that leave you scratching your head a little bit. The fact that Anakin is so young. Now, here's what I would have done that I think would have made maybe a better movie, or a more kind of concise movie. Remember what Obi-Wan told Luke in Star Wars? When Luke says, "Oh, you knew my father." And Obi-Wan said, "When I met your father, he was already a great pilot. But what impressed me was how strong he was in the Force. And I took it upon myself to train him, and I thought I was going to be as good a teacher as Yoda, and I wasn't. And ergo, we have Vader." Now, I always thought, growing up and watching just the original three, I always thought that Obi-Wan met Anakin a little later in his life, maybe when he was a mid-teenager, 14, 15, maybe 20, and he was already a pilot, and he was already, pretty accomplished. And then he took Anakin in as an apprentice, and he kind of did it on the down low, and don't tell anybody, and I can do this, I can do this just like Yoda can. Don't nobody tell me I can't do it. And then he did it, and he taught him, and he was strong in the Force, and then, then he fell. So here are some suggestions that I think would have made The Phantom Menace better. First of all, get rid of the title. We all know who Palpatine is. We all know who he becomes. There's nothing phantom about that. We know where this is going. Change your title. It's weird. That's a nitpick. There is no Phantom Menace. It's Palpatine starting his road down to the Empire and to the Emperor and the Sith. Blah. Whatever. Okay. I say get rid of Qui-Gon completely. Have Qui-Gon, the way that his personality was written, is what I always thought Obi-Wan should have been. That arrogant, I can do this, I don't care what the council says, sort of persona. That's Obi-Wan. That is how I thought he would have been when he said to Luke, "Yeah, I knew him, and he was already a great pilot, and I'm going to train him, and I thought I could be this great teacher, and I was wrong because I was an arrogant ass." So if you eliminate Qui-Gon completely, and you have Obi-Wan in Qui-Gon's place, and you eliminate the Living Force, and you eliminate all the midichlorians, and get rid of all of that garbage, and then if you meet Anakin at a later point in his life, 14, 15, 17 years old, maybe 20, maybe 17-ish, when you're that angsty teenager, you have Anakin at the place of young Obi-Wan. So now you've got Obi-Wan and Anakin kind of going through the movie. Thinking, hey, the way the Phantom Menace was written, Obi-Wan only trained Anakin because it was his dying master's wish, which was never how it was presented to us in Star Wars. It was always presented to us as Obi-Wan found Anakin, Obi-Wan took him in and trained him, and Obi-Wan was wrong. There was never this mention of this other. So, get rid of Qui-Gon. Now you've got Obi-Wan and Anakin, and you can pretty much follow the story along. Get rid of the midichlorians, get rid of the Living Force and all that jazz. And then just follow the story along. At the end, have Obi-Wan and Maul face off, and have an older Anakin going to blow up the Trade Federation ships, and have Maul live. See, I think Maul living and doing everything that Dooku did in the rest of the movies would have made a lot more sense. I think a lot of what happened was they introduced these characters to us, like Qui-Gon and like Maul and everything like that, and then they were just throwaways. They were plot devices, and once the plot device was used up, Lucas threw them away. You can even keep Jar Jar. But that's what I think would have made a better movie. You've got Obi-Wan. He finds Anakin, teenager, a little angst-ridden, but still a good person. Great pilot, strong in the Force. Maybe he dabbled in lightsaber bits a little bit, teaching himself maybe how to do some Jedi stuff. And he takes him in, and he tries to raise him kind of keeping him maybe a little bit away from the council and from Yoda, and sort of doing it on the down low. And then you could follow the plot along, and then at the end you have the face-off, just like it was with Obi-Wan and Maul and Anakin blowing up the ships, and then Maul surviving and going on to the rest of the book. You can even keep Jar Jar. Jar Jar serves a purpose. He doesn't need to be erased. I think that would have tightened up the movie, and I think that would have made all of the prequels flow better when you watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back to back to back to back. It makes everything, makes the story flow, makes the story mesh, it makes everything mesh together a little bit better. So The Phantom Menace was not the worst of the lot. Believe me, I'm looking at you, Attack of the Clones. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Attack of the Clones, as the worst of the lot. So The Phantom Menace wasn't the worst. It wasn't the best. It was mediocre. It was a 3 out of 5. I was really excited when I first saw it because it was a new Star Wars after so many years. It was a new Star Wars. But you know, when you get that newness and you walk away and you know there's something wrong, but you get that bittersweet feeling to it, that's kind of how I walked away from The Phantom Menace. Not hating it, not loathing it, but knowing that there was something off, and if you just tweaked it a little bit, it could have been so much better. And I think if you had, just tweaked that story down just a little bit more, it would have made a much better story and a much better thing to flow along for the rest of the movies. So there you have it. 3 out of 5 for The Phantom Menace. Not the worst of the bunch, not the best of the bunch. Mediocre, middle of the line of the bunch. And I guess at the end of the day, maybe that's not just such a bad place to be, but it's certainly not where you would have expected a movie with the caption Star Wars. You certainly wouldn't have expected that to be middle of the line. So, next up, we will be doing a review of Attack of the Clones, and I'll guarantee you that is going to be a lot shorter and a lot more brutal, because that is, in my opinion, the worst of the 6. Even worse than the Ewoks. So guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and until next time, I will see you later.